Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But yeah, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX. As you can see, y'all, yesterday the VIX had a high of 19.22 and we're back down in the $16 range. So that is interesting, right? So where are the trouble places? I always try to find my gathering spot, and we see here that price has been trying to hold at this level here of 1682 and resistance around the 1688. So it's not far. It looks like we're trying to break this area. I would definitely watch, let's say where the body of these candles are here, I would watch the 1681, and if we break that, we're probably going to come on down to the downside. So again, where are the trouble places for the VIX to the downside? Now, if we lose this level of 1682, we can come down to 1677. Breaking that level, we could possibly find support at 1672, again 1668, 1663, and 1655. Now, if we break that 1655, we can come back to 1647 or the 1641 area. Now, back to the upside, we could very well have all of this resistance here. I use the moving averages sometimes as my, support and resistance. So we have a lot of resistance here in that area. So above 1696, we could possibly have trouble here at the $17 range. If we break that, 1705 and 1714, 1721, and if we break the 1721, I'm just going here to the body of this candle, 1733, and again here at the 1739 area. So I'm going to zoom back out, because normally when I look at the VIX, it kind of gives me an idea of what's going on with the SPY. So the VIX look like it's trying to decline. Let's go see if the SPY is moving to the upside. So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 588.22. SPY had a nice little decline yesterday, gave us a double bottom, only to come back up. Had trouble here at this 591.57 on yesterday, so we need to watch that area, today. So I always again say, where are my trouble places for the SPY? As of right now, we could possibly say our support area is around the 589.83, which is right here where this 50 EMA is. Looks like it's just really resting on the 590.16 area. Price is here in this area. So we're going to say the 590.16 is our support area. Our resistance is around 590.89. So to the upside, where the trouble places, if we break the 590.89, we could possibly have trouble at 591.57, breaking that level, 592.62, and if we break that, 593.31 is this 200 EMA, again looking at it on this 30-minute chart. If we break that level, 593.81 could very well be a resistance area, and 594.17, 594.37, somewhere in that area. So those are going to be resistance areas to the upside for the SPY. Now to the downside, I would say if we break under this level of 589.46, we could possibly find support around 588.92. And if we break that level, we're coming down towards the ATR trailing stop at the 588.21, and I have the 588.13 mark, which is really, really close. So in my opinion, that's going to be a strong support area for the SPY at the 588.21 area. So if we break that level, we've broken through a strong area of support. We can come back and find support at 587.58. If we break that level, 587.20, and breaking that, 586.67. So the 586.67, if we break that, we have a lot of support under that, from the 586.30 all the way down to the 585.29. So I would definitely watch. We could very well get stopped out, or find support within that range from the 586.30 down to the 585.29. Now, if we break that 585.29, that means we have broken through a few layers of support. So I would definitely say trade carefully today. If you trade the SPY, y'all know I say so often that in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. And I cannot believe I didn't have Tesla on my list for today. So we are now looking at Tesla. Tesla closed at 417.41. What's interesting is this 4 o'clock candle here for Tesla. It looks like we bounced off of this 412 area. So where are the trouble places as of right now for Tesla? It looks like pre-market support is around that 422.22. We've been in this place before, right? So 422.22 is support area. Resistance 425.39. If we should break this area, we could very well have trouble somewhere around 427.41. And I'm just looking at the body of these candles where the ATR trailing stop was. That could be a resistance area for us. So I would watch that 427.47 area. If we should break that, I would look. We could possibly have trouble around 429.99, and if we break that area, 432.67, which is our 200 EMA as of now on this 30-minute chart, breaking that level for Tesla, 434.54. 436.19, 438.42, and if we break that 442.19, Tesla does what it does. It normally exceeds its ATR. So I say often, anything is possible, nothing is guaranteed. So to the downside, where are the trouble places for Tesla? Breaking under this 422.22 area. We have a few layers of support here, so we can come back, let's say, to this area here at 419.71, which is, you can see that's where the body of those candles, or that's where the candles are here, the wicks up here. Let me say that, the wick of these candles here are, so that was a zone for us previously. Under this 419.71, we can come back to 417.54, 416.68, and if we should lose that 416.68 area, 415.34, 413.64, and if we should break that, we can come back and retest this 412.01. Now if we break the 412.01 area, in my opinion, that's a strong area of support for Tesla. So 410.01 is possible, and the 407.89. So in my opinion, Tesla can move in either direction. It normally does what it does, right? So if you trade Tesla today, trade carefully. Let's see where we are with NVDA today. NVDA closed at 137.49. As you can see, look where price was just trading in this little gathering spot here in this zone at the 138.28 as support. Resistance was around 138.57. You know, it did make a high here of 138.71, so we definitely need to watch. You know, there were some sellers in this area here, and we need to watch that area if we're trading NVIDIA today. Now, to the upside, again, trouble places for NVIDIA. If we break above this 138.77, we can have trouble again, 139.12. If we break that 139.12, we can have trouble around 130. Let me make sure I get that right. 138.74, 139.12. If we break that level, 139.56. If we break the 139.56, let's say here around the 140.08. And if we break that level, 140.38. And then the next is at 130.68. So those are going to be resistance areas for NVIDIA. Now to the downside, what's interesting is this candle here. We moved up to, you know, had a high of this candle is around 138.67. The low of this candle is 137.49. You see it came down, found support off this 200 EMA and a previous support line that we had marked at 137.45. So this bounce is what's interesting. So under the level of 138.14 for NVIDIA, we could very well come back to retest this area here at 137.46. If we break that, we can find support at 137.14, and under that 136.76. So that is the ATR trailing stop and a level of 136.66 area of support. So if we break that level, we could very well find support at 136.41, again at 136.17, and if we break the 136.17, 135.67, breaking that, we can come all the way back to the 134.90. And if we should break that level, 134.27 could very well be a support place for NVIDIA. So if you trade NVIDIA today, y'all, I say so often, trade carefully. Once it goes against your why, get out. Make sure you have your stop losses, or however, whatever you choose to use, make sure you have the discipline to execute that. Now, we are now looking at AMD. AMD closed at 122.44. Immediately, I go to this gathering spot here. So as of now, our pre-market support is around the 122.96 area. Resistance is, I would say, right here at this ATR trailing stop at 123.24. So If we break this level of 123.24 here, where's our next level of resistance? It's right here where the body of these candles are, around the 123.60. If we break that 123.60, we could very well have trouble, let's say, around the 123.99, which is not far from the 124.02, which is where the 200 EMA is. So I would definitely watch that if I traded AMD today. Above the 124.02 area, we could very well have trouble again here at 124.47, and if we break that level, we can have trouble at 124.76, and breaking that 124.94. If we break the 124.94, 125.23 could be a resistance area, and if we should break that 125.51, we could possibly have trouble for AMD. Now, to the downside, under the level of 122.63, we could very well come back to, let's say, around the 122.23 area. Breaking that, we can come back to 121.73, and if we break the 121.73 for AMD, we can come back to this level of 120.68. So if you trade AMD today, those are places to the upside and to the downside that I would say trade carefully. And y'all, today should be an interesting day in the market. It is the last trading day of this year, so it should be interesting as to how the market moves, right? So I'm going to look at Apple just to see where we are today. Apple closed at 252.20. And immediately, this was our gathering spot here around the 252.83 area. Resistance was around, let's say, the 253.40. So if we break through the 253.40 area, we can come back to this level, which is around 254.23. If we break that 254.23, 254.44 could be a trouble place. And again here at the 254.81. If we break that 254.81, 255.05 is another area that I would watch for Apple to the upside. Now, to the downside, if by chance we were already under the 252.79, 252.83 area. If we come down, under this 252.32 area, we can come to this ATR trail and stop, find support at 252.02, and if we should break that, 251.72, and breaking that level brings us back to around the 251.27, and if we break the 251.27, we can come back to the 250.94. So those are places for Apple to the upside and to the downside. We do have a couple of inside day candles. What's interesting is GameStop is on that list as an inside day candle today. Above 32.93 gives us an upside target of 33.05. Now to the downside, under 31.58 gives us a downside target of $30.70. So if you trade GameStop today, it is an inside day candle, and GameStop normally moves, let's see if I can figure that. GameStop normally moves about $2.02 per day. That is the ATR, which is the average true range of the stock. And again, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Oxy is also an inside day candle today above the level of 49.04. Gives us a target of 49.09, which is not very far. To the downside, under 48.31 gives us a downside target of 48.05. And let's see how much Oxy normally moves per day, and I always do that. It normally moves just 4 cents per day, so that's not a big mover. So if you trade Oxy, it is an inside day candle. It is trading in a zone for a support around 48.56. Resistance, I would say, is around the 48.71. So again, if you trade Oxy today, it is an inside day candle, y'all. So when I look at the market, this is what I see. Anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Once it goes against your why, get out. Live to trade another day. I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have an awesome day today, a very productive day. If you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, because we learn and we grow together. So until next time, y'all be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.